Welcome again. Let's now try to calculate this one. We're being told that the present ages of two children are 3 years and 5 years respectively. After how long will the sum of the square of their ages be 130? So after how long? So we just say let's say the child A is 3 years right now, 3 years, and then child Y is child B is 5 years. So we're being asked that after how long will the sum of the square of their ages will be 130. So what we can do, we can say let that year, the nth year that we don't know, be equivalent to x. Let's say x, so that when now in 3 years time child A will be x plus 3, because it will be that year plus the current years, which is 3. Then we say for the second year, for the second child, which is B, will be 5 plus x. So when you square this one plus x plus 5, we should be getting 130, isn't it? Such that now we can say that x plus 3 squared, that one will be x squared plus 3 times 2, that one is 6x, plus 9, which is 3 squared, plus, now we open the second bracket, will be x squared plus 25, no, 10x plus 5 squared, which is 25, should be giving us 130. Giving us 130. So we now collect the last terms. So we have x and x squared. So we can say we now have 2x squared plus, we go to b. Now we have 6x plus 10x, that one is 16. So that one will be 16x plus, now c will be, now we have 9, and we have 9 and 25, so that's 34. That's 34 to be giving us 130. 130. Now this is now a simultaneous and what, quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, how do we solve quadratic equation? We can use many formulas, but I'll go for the simpler one. But before then, let's finish factorizing. So we'll have 2x squared plus, now 16x. Now here we have 34 plus 130. 34, which is, now we can take to the other side. Now we subtract 130 minus 34, so that we can now say is equal to 130 minus 34. 130 minus 34. Let me write it well. 130 minus 34. So that 130 minus 44 is just 96. So we have 2x squared plus 16x minus 96. So 96, when it comes this side, will be negative. It's equivalent to 0. So we have our quadratic equation here. We can simplify it still further. We can say divide by 2. So that when divided by 2, we'll have x squared plus 8x minus 48 is equal to 0. The reason why we divide, or we make it we divide, is to make it much more simpler, or we reduce the load. Now that we have x squared plus 8x minus 48 is equivalent to 0, we can use many formulas. So most of you, I know, will fear quadratic formula, but it's the formula that you will always find behind your logbooks, or for figure. In your 4-figure table, you will have your quadratic formula. So let me just write the quadratic formula, such that the value of x will be equal to the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's the quadratic formula. So how do we apply the quadratic formula? We say, if you want to apply the quadratic formula, we now come and say, now the value of b here is positive 8. So we'll just come here and say x will be equal to negative 8, because b should be times this one. So because 8 is positive, when we multiply the negative 8 minus plus or minus to give us the two values. That's why we use plus or minus, such that minus a square root of b squared, 8 squared is just 64, minus 4ac. So before you say minus, or you say what, you look if there is any with the negative. If there is a negative, which is 1, for our case is negative 48, so which means we multiply here, because a is 1, so we just take 48 times 4, which is 192. So because we have negative times negative, it will be positive 192 over 2a. A is just 1, so over 2. So after you write the formula like that, so just take, you can solve the square root first. You take 164 plus 92, you get and then you get the answer. Then after you get that, you can now replace. So how do we go about that one? We say, now we have x is equal to negative 8 plus or minus square root of 256. 256 is the 64 plus 92, that's the 256. So that's 256. So that's 256. So plus or minus square root of 256 divided by 2. 256, square root of 256 is just 16. So we have negative 8 plus or minus 16 over 2. You see, this one is very quick. So when we have plus or minus 16 over 2, what we do, we now start with using one sign at a time. So when we start with positive, we can say, so x1 will be equal to negative 8 plus 16 over 2. 16 over 2. So that we have negative 8 plus 16, that one is 8. 8 over 2, that one is 4. So x1 is equivalent to 4. x2 will now be negative 8 plus minus now 16 over 2, such that negative 8 minus 16, that one is negative 20, that one is negative 24 over 2. So x2 is equal to negative 12. Negative 12. So we have x1 to be equal to 4, x2 to be equal to negative 12. Now we are dealing with edges, so which means then the value of x will be now positive. We choose the positive one because we are dealing with edges, so we will choose the positive one, which is 4. So in the next 4 years, the sum of the square of their edges will be now 130. We can prove it. So how can we prove it? So if x now is 4, then we say back there a was 3. So in the next 4 years, so a will be equal to 4 plus 3. Then b was 5, so this one is 7. B will be 5 plus 4, that one is 9. So that we have 7 squared, which is 49, plus 9 squared, which is 81. When you sum this one, you get 230. Okay? Thank you for watching. Please follow, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Thank you. Try to explain it, and I've done that. That's it all. That was the question. See ya. Thank you all.